Probability 2. In the first chapter, we studied how to find or how to, لا مش how to. We introduced some definitions, events, sample space, outcome, experiment, operations on events. Now, in this lesson, we are going to calculate or to find the probability. We are going to define the probability, and then we are going to put away to find probability. Yep. If you have an experiment, for example, rolling a die, and we have a sample space omega, the sample space of an experiment, the sample space omega of an experiment. Okay, and let's say that A as an outcome, it belongs to the sample space. We define the probability of A. We define the probability of A to be a number in the interval 0, 1. It means here the probability of A is between 0 and 1. And this value represents the chance, probability of A, it is the chance that A occurs. The probability of a number, of an event, sorry, or of an outcome, represents the chance that this number or this outcome will occur. For example, let's say in rolling a die, the sample space, it is the set of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Type. The probability of getting 2, for example, it's 1 over 6. There is a chance of 1 over 6 to have 2 when you roll a die. Okay? ده 1 over 6. في عندك الداي في عندك بس واحد عليه number 2 and face has the number 2 out of 6. So you write the probability is 1 over 6. Okay? طيب, if you select randomly a student from grade 11, the probability that Rawad will be the student is 1 over 14. Why? There is a chance 1 Rawad out of 14 students. Okay, so here, or you can write it as percentage, and here we can say it's almost 15 or 16.6%. There is a chance of 16.6% to have 2. Okay, as a definition of a probability of an outcome. Like, if you have event A is an event, and A subset of the sample space, and A contains set of outcomes, let's say A1, A2, A3, AN, number of outcomes. Then the probability of this event A, it is the sum of the probabilities of each outcome. It is the probability of A1 plus probability of A2 plus probability of A3 plus etc. till the last one. Yeah, it is the probability of each outcome. Okay? For example, if you roll a die, نفس example, نفس experiment, rolling a die, if A, the event number is prime, right? Number is prime, it means that it's 2, 3, 5. Then the probability of this event A, it is the probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 5. Which is equal to probability of getting 2, there is a chance 1 over 6 to get 2. Probability of 3, we have a chance also 1 over 6 to get 3. لأنه في وحدة 3. Right. Probability of 5, there is a chance of 1 over 6. So I get 3 over 6, which is 1 over 2. Okay? Right. Moreover, the probability of the impossible event, probability of phi. Yani, for example, if in this experiment rolling a die, and we said that B is the event, B, هلا نرجع نكتب example هون. B, the number is more than 7. Is there a chance that B occurs? Is it possible that B occurs? Is it possible to get a number more than 7 in rolling a die?
أكيد لا.
أكيد لا.
7 ما فيك تجيب، كيف تجيب أعلى من 7؟
Because it's impossible. So here there's no chance to get a number more than 7. So the probability is 0. So here, if B number is more than 7, it means that here B is an empty set. This is impossible event. This event is impossible. The probability of B is equal to 0. So here, when I say probability of phi equal to 0, it means the probability of the impossible event is equal to 0. Now, there is a chance of 0% to get a number which is more than 7. Right. What about the probability of the sample space? What is the probability of the sample space?
%100%.
يعني, if you write a number between 0 and 1, one. It is 1. For one reason, if you apply this property, the sample space contains all the outcomes. So for example here, it is the probability of 1 plus probability of 2 plus 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you get 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 and again plus 1 over 6, which is 6 over 6. It is 1. Okay. Here, it means that the probability of the certain event is equal to 1. The probability of the certain event is equal to 1. Here, for example, the number, event C, the number is less than 7. For sure, the number will be less than 7. When you roll a die, you'll get the numbers from 1 to 6. So for sure, the number is less than 7. So for sure, this event will occur. 100%, we are sure that this event will occur. So we say that the probability is 1. 1 يعني على الأكيد هذا الإيفنت will occur. 0 means the event will not occur. Any number between 0 and 1 likely to occur. Okay, but of course here probability number between 0 and 1. Yani if you are working a certain exercise and you get a probability more than 1, you have a mistake. Less than 0, you have a mistake. Probability, it is a number between 0 and 1. تمام? Any questions so far?
لا أستاذ.
عيد آخر واحدة لو سمحت.
آخر وحدة هاي probability
آخر
of.
point.
Okay. كتابون the probability of the certain event is equal to 1. The probability لل certain event, it is 1. ليه؟ لأنه أول شيء ال sample space, it is the sum of the probabilities of the outcomes. يعني probability of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. طب إذا بتحطهم هودي 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 اجمعهم كلهم بيطلع 6 over 6 يعني 1. يعني applying this is a sample space هن كل ال outcomes. مجموعهم راح يطلع التوتال على التوتال يعني 1. اوكي؟ اذا بدك تفهمها او بتاخذها بمفهوم انه هي شو اسمه as a percentage. اوكي؟ 100% يعني this sample space 100% sure it will occur. مع الاكيد بده يطلع عندك outcome هو واحد من هود واحد من السامبل سبيس بداش اثنين يفكروا فيها صح؟
صح استاذ.
يعني كان عم بيجي بيقول لك انا select a student from grade 11 وبعدين جيت قلت لك what is the probability that this student selected is from grade 11. لا اكيد راح يطلع، ما انت عم تاخذه من 11 يعني بده يطلع واحد من 11. فهمت الفكره؟
ماشي استاذ. فهمت.
اوكي طيب how to find the probability. اوكي فهمنا، عرفنا على the probability that find a number between 0 and 1 وهي it represents the chance that this outcome will occur, or if you have event the sum of the probabilities of each outcome and كمان the probability of an event, it is the chance, يعني when I say probability of A, it is the chance that A occurs. ماشي طيب بس انه خي انا عندي experiment وكيف بدي اجيب البروبابيلتي؟ هلا depends on the given. Depends on the given. هلا we are going to define the equiprobable space or uniform space. Equiprobable space or uniform space. وهون بنشوف how to find the probability in this sample space. Equiprobable space. In an equiprobable space, if you have طبعا you are given a sample space omega, a sample space of an experiment. Okay. If you consider two outcomes in the sample space, then these two outcomes have the same probability. عشان هيك عم نقول equiprobable. equi يعني في equality. Okay. Any two outcomes, they have the same chance to occur. They have the same probability. يعني in rolling a die, how the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how they have the same chance to occur. مش انه والله الفور احتمال تطلع الفور اكثر من احتمال تطلع 3. لا. لوتري جيمز لوتو، اذا انت بتقطع شبكه، كل وحده من هذه الشبكات اللي نحن كنا عم نقول عنهم المره الماضيه 5,245,768 هذه كلياتهم they have the same chance to win. كل وحده منهم اذا قطعت شبكه ولا 100 شبكه كل وحده منهم عندهم نفس الchance to occur. They have the same chance to win. اوكي؟ ليه؟ لانه الماربلز are identical. طيب if for example you have a jar with several number of marbles, if the marbles are identical يعني the same size, the same volume, same dimensions, same mass, okay, they all have the same chance. يعني the probability of selecting this marble is equal to the probability of selecting this marble. But if the marbles are not identical, أكيد صار the chance to select this will be more than the chance of selecting this. فهذا space هم not equiprobable space. Okay, so equiprobable space, it means that all the outcomes they have the same chance to occur. So for that reason here I wrote if A and B are two events in the sample or two outcomes in the sample space, then these two outcomes have the same probability to occur. بمعنى الثاني هون all the outcomes خلينا نسميهم AI have the same probability. Okay, طيب in this case يعني in case the sample space is equiprobable space, in this case if A is an event of this sample space of this experiment, or A subset to the sample space, then the probability of A will be equal to the cardinal of A over the cardinal of the sample space. يعني the favorable outcomes over the total number of outcomes. Favorable outcomes or number of favorable outcomes number of favorable outcomes over the total number of outcomes. يعني for example, in rolling a die, the outcomes or the sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Event A, the number is prime, يعني A, it's 2, 3, 5. Then the probability of A, in rolling a die, rolling a fair die, okay, this space is equiprobable space. They have the same probability. The chance to get 1 or 6 or 5, it's the same. Okay, so I can apply this property here. Okay, and the probability of A will be the cardinal of A, which is 1, 2, 3, over the total number of outcomes 6, which is 1 over 2. هذا اللي طلع معنا قبل شوي هون. Probability of A is 1 over 2. Okay. Another example. Let's say if you have a jar that contains 5 black and 3 white.
Wait, قبل ليه حطيت 3?
Because the cardinal of A, again, the cardinal is the number of
the cardinal A is 3.
نعم. ما سمعت.
ولا شيء.
مش الحال أكيد.
يعني حسب الاي كم وحده بتكون بتحطها مش انه انت نقيت الرقم.
صح. كم element فيه بالA؟ number of elements.
3.
Okay, we have 3. So you're right. 3 over the total number of outcomes in the sample space. 6. 3 over 6. Yeah. طيب. Another example. Let's say if you have a jar that contains 5 black and 1 white. Okay, and you are selecting one marble is selected. Sorry, 3 white. 1 marble is selected. 1 marble is drawn from the jar. The probability of this marble to be white, it is the number of this event, number of outcomes of this event. The marble is white. How many outcomes? عندك 3. White 1, white 2, or white 3. You have 3 over the total. In total number of ways you can select a marble from this jar, it is 8. So 3 over 8. Okay, please من هلا عم بنبهكم ما بدي بعدين نشوف المستيك انه والله هون we are selecting one marble يعني 1 بدي اياها وايت. طب انا عندي 3 يعني 1 over 3. عم بنبهك من هلا وانا بعرف انه رح اشوف المستيك. بتمنى انه تكذبني وما اشوف المستيك. انه هيك في بعض التلاميذ بتفكر انه خيي في عندك انت نحن بناخذ وحده يبغى يطلع لك بس وحده وايت 1 وايت. اوكي، وكم وحده وايت عندنا 3 هذا 1 over 3. لا، انت بدك تشوف هيدا الايفنت انه when you select a marble okay probability of white بتشوف كم outcome عندك اياهم يطلعوا وايت. عندك 3 outcomes اوكي. طيب over the total number of outcomes. شو هن total number of outcomes؟ يعني number of ways you can select a marble from the jar. عندك 8 ways. مثلا 3 over 8. او مثلا واحد تاني بيفكر بهي الطريقه كمان غير، بيقول لك طب ما when you select the marble from the jar انه يا بتطلع بلاك يا بتطلع وايت. مظبوط؟ ايه مظبوط. طيب شو البروبابيلتي اوف وايت؟ ما انت عندك واحده من الاثنين، بيقول لك 1 over 2، ما يا وايت يا بلاك. واحده وايت over the total 2، يا بلاك يا وايت. هيك كلياته اللي انا عم بحكيه هذا يعني حشيش مؤصل مركز. Don't use it.
طب حسب أخذت أكتر من ماربل.
تغير الموضوع اكثر من ماربل، ويعني حتى when you say 2 or more رح نعمل exercises عنهم هون. 2 marbles or more هالسلكشن كيف كانت؟ simultaneously in one hand، يعني حطينا ايدنا وسحبنا اثنين، or in succession one after another يعني. And if it is in succession one after another, is it with replacement or without replacement? And here the probability will not be probability of white، بدي اسالك عن colors of if you are selecting two, the colors of the two marbles. يقول لك مثلا okay the probability that the two marbles are white, the two marbles have different colors, the two marbles have the same color. بطل يسأل عن probability of white، بده يسأل عن غير. فهمت؟ ومش عم لك انه ما بينسال، مبلا، بس بيتغير الموضوع مش مثل ما نحن هلا عم نشتغل يعني. ورح نشتغل عنهم يعني، مش انه مش رح نقرب لهم، لا رح نقرب لهم. اوكي؟ كلير؟
ايه يا استاذ.
ماشي. properties. Now for the properties. The properties هن على ال operations on events، يعني ال complement, union and the intersection. Complement, union and the intersection. Properties. The first property. If A and B are mutually exclusive, A and B طبعا هون A and B are two events of an experiment. Then if A and B are mutually exclusive, then what is the probability of A intersection B? If A and B are mutually exclusive events, then what will be the probability of the intersection?
%50.
ليش 50%؟ Yes.
لأن الكومن بين اثنين بيطلع نصا، يعني إنه في احتمال لأنه بس بعرفش إذا كان صوتي عم يوصل مؤخر ولا طبيعي، لأن أنا عم بحكي بعد 3 ساعات عم ترد علي.
لا أنا هلا عم بسمع. Like
صوتي مؤخر له شي دقيقتين.
لا هلا عم بسمعك عادي، بعرف اذا كانك نمت عم تحكي. المهم انت هون عم تفكر انه
ايه ما انا عم بسمعك عم ترد علي بعد شي 10 ثواني.
معقول. طيب المهم كنت عم تقول انه يعني probability of the intersection 0.5 0.5 انه انت كانك عم تقسمهم بين ال A وال B، يعني وكانك انت عم تقول انه ال A عندها 50% chance to occur وال B عندها 50% chance to occur، هيك قصدك؟
الانترسكشن بيناتهم.
الانترسكشن بيناتهم. طيب what do you mean by mutually exclusive events؟
ما بعرف صراحة.
ما بنعرف. لا بنعرف. وين لك وين read it. What do you mean by mutually exclusive events؟
يعني الانترسكشن بيناتهم هي impossible، ما في intersection.
No intersection. Incompatible events, disjoint events. There's no intersection and they don't cover the sample
بس
space.
حلو، يعني
بس
هديك
كان بدي اقول لك اياها بس.
ليك شايف انا كيف
يعني
راسم هالفيجر هون؟
probability
هذا
هونيك
السامبل
هي
سبيس كله
0%.
سوا، هذا السامبل سبيس كله سوا، هذا الاي والبي، يعني بعد في عندك اشياء ثانيه. Not necessarily to cover the sample space لحتى تقول لي انه هيدي 50% وهي 50%. يعني disjoint it means the intersection is empty. Disjoint or mutually exclusive events, it means the intersection is 5. Hey, A intersection B is empty. And what is the probability of an empty set? What is the probability of the impossible event? 0. That's equal to 0. So the probability of mutually exclusive events 0. بالمنطق بداش اثنين يفكروا فيها. How do they don't occur at the same time? تعرف mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive, they don't occur at the same time. So the probability that they occur at the same time will be 0. I'm not like they don't occur at the same time. And there's a 0 chance to occur at the same time. يعني نفسري حالة على حالة. طيب. Union. The union. Probability of A union B. طيب نرجع نذكركم شو أخذنا بجريد 10. If you have two sets, set A, set B, what can you say about the cardinal of A union B?
استاذ بعت لك ريم تشات انه ما فهمت اول وحده.
ريم نحن عم نقول انه A and B are mutually exclusive، يعني الانترسكشن هو empty. هي the meaning of mutually exclusive. It means that A intersection B is empty. طيب this means that probability of A intersection B, it is the probability of the empty, and we just said that the probability of empty, probability of phi, the probability of the impossible event is 0. Okay, so here the answer is 0. That means that the probability of A intersection B is 0. again mutually exclusive. They don't occur at the same time. They don't occur at the same time. So the probability that they occur at the same time is zero. ما بقول لك they don't occur. Okay? طيب. Now back to this. The union. The union. Cardinal of A union B. What we studied in grade 10. مين علمكم grade 10؟ مش فاهمينه؟ طيب. Cardinal of A union B. What is the rule? Do you still remember? Number of elements in A union B. A union B, everything is in A or in B. Right. To remind you, it is the number of elements in A, so cardinal of A, plus number of elements in B. pink. Number of elements in B, so plus cardinal of B. Type. If you write in this way, then this part is counted 2 times. هذا the intersection هيك صرنا عم نعدهم مرتين. اوكي؟ يعني مثلا إذا افترضنا خلينا ناخذ هيك numbers عالمية. نفترض هون عندنا 2 elements، هون عندنا 3 elements، هون عندنا 7 elements. So in A we have 3, 2, 5. In B we have 7 and 2 9. Okay? طيب إذا بتجي تقول لي والله هون cardinal of A plus cardinal of B, then you'll get 5 plus 9 which is 14. طيب بس إذا you count the elements here, you'll get 3, 2 and 7. The answer is 12 not 14. ليه؟ لأنه هيدي 2 صرت أنت عم تعدها مرتين، مرة عم بتعدها مع ال A ومرة بتعدها مع ال B. فمشان هيك you have to subtract it. 12 minus 2 or sorry 14 minus 2 it's 12 نفس الانسر. اوكي هيدا الانترسكشن انت هون صرت اذا حطيت بس هيك cardinal of A plus cardinal of B, the intersection you are counting it twice. So for that reason لا you have to subtract it once لحتى نكون عم نعدها مرة واحدة. So minus the cardinal of the intersection. The same property works on probability. The same idea. محيلي هيدي الكاردينال وحط P. Probability of A union B.